Let's continue. By now, we've talked about some of the most important stroke warning signs: a heavy leg, sudden confusion, blurred vision, facial drooping, speech problems, arm weakness. But there is one more warning sign that many stroke survivors never forget. In fact, some describe it as the moment they knew something was terribly wrong. And that warning sign is a sudden, severe headache. Not an ordinary headache. Not the kind that comes after a stressful day. Not the kind that improves with rest. This is different. People often describe it as the worst headache of their lives. A headache that arrives suddenly, without warning, without explanation. One minute, everything seems normal. The next minute, it feels as though something inside your head has changed. A retired firefighter from Texas once described it this way: "It felt like a lightning bolt hit my brain." Another survivor said, "It came out of nowhere. I knew immediately that something wasn't right." While not every stroke causes a headache, a sudden and severe headache, especially when combined with weakness, vision changes, dizziness, confusion, or speech problems, should always be treated as a medical emergency. And that's where many people make a dangerous mistake. They wait. They take a nap. They hope the symptoms will disappear. They tell themselves they'll feel better tomorrow. Unfortunately, tomorrow is sometimes too late. Now I want to tell you something that emergency room doctors see all the time. A patient arrives at the hospital. The symptoms started 6 hours ago. Sometimes 8 hours ago, sometimes even longer. The patient says, "I thought it would go away. I didn't want to bother anyone. I didn't think it was serious." And every doctor in that room wishes the patient had come sooner. Because when it comes to stroke treatment, time matters. Every minute matters. The faster treatment begins, the greater the chance of preserving brain function. The greater the chance of walking independently, speaking clearly, living normally. That's why recognizing the warning signs is so important. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Let's go back to Robert one last time. Remember him? The 74-year-old grandfather whose leg suddenly felt heavy. The man who ignored the warning sign. Fortunately, Robert survived. But life changed dramatically. Months of rehabilitation followed. Physical therapy, speech therapy, doctor appointments, exercises every day. Simple tasks became difficult. Things he once took for granted suddenly required effort. One afternoon, while talking to a group of seniors, Robert shared something powerful. He said, "If I could go back in time, I would never ignore that first symptom." Not because he wanted sympathy, not because he wanted attention, because he wanted others to avoid making the same mistake. And that's exactly why we're having this conversation today. Now let's talk about the most important thing every senior should remember. A simple phrase, 5 letters, easy to remember, but powerful enough to save a life. Be fast. Emergency physicians and stroke specialists use this phrase because it helps people recognize stroke symptoms quickly. The letter B stands for balance. Have you suddenly lost your balance? Do you feel unsteady? Do you feel like the room is moving? That could be a warning sign. The letter E stands for eyes. Has your vision suddenly changed? Is one eye blurry? Do you see double? Has part of your vision disappeared? That could be a warning sign. The letter F stands for face. Ask yourself a simple question. Is one side of your face drooping? Does your smile look uneven? If the answer is yes, take action immediately. The letter A stands for arm. Raise both arms. Does one drift downward? Does one feel weaker than the other? That could be a stroke warning sign. The letter S stands for speech. Can you repeat a simple sentence clearly? Do your words sound normal? Can others understand you? If not, don't wait. And finally, the letter T, time. The most important letter of all, because every second counts. Every minute matters, and immediate action can save brain function and improve outcomes. Now let me ask you a question. If one of these symptoms appeared tonight, what would you do? Would you wait until morning? Would you search the internet? Would you call a friend? Or would you call 911? The correct answer is simple. Call 911 immediately. Do not drive yourself. Do not ask a spouse to drive you. Do not try to sleep it off. Emergency medical teams can begin care immediately and get you to the right hospital as quickly as possible. That can make an enormous difference. Before we finish, I want you to think about someone you care about. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your brother. Maybe it's your sister. Maybe it's your best friend. Maybe it's your parent. Maybe it's your neighbor who lives alone. Now imagine that person experiencing one of these warning signs tomorrow. Would they recognize it? Would they know what to do? The truth is, many people don't. That's why sharing information like this matters, because awareness saves lives. Sometimes a single conversation changes everything. Sometimes one video reaches the right person at exactly the right moment. And sometimes that moment becomes the difference between life and death. As we grow older, we become more aware of how precious life truly is. We learn not to take our health for granted. We learn that small decisions can have enormous consequences. And we learn that paying attention to our bodies is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. So please remember these warning signs. A heavy leg, sudden confusion, blurred vision, facial drooping, speech difficulties, arm weakness, a sudden severe headache. These symptoms may seem small, but they may be your brain's way of asking for help. Listen carefully, act quickly, and never ignore what your body is trying to tell you. If you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. More importantly, share this video with someone you love, a spouse, a friend, a parent, a neighbor. Because one share could help someone recognize a stroke before it's too late. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.